and this is Cat 3. First I'm going to do a psoas analysis, so I have to bring your hands up. I'm going to pull them out like this, lengthen your palms, pull them together, bring them down here. Alright, so we've got a short on the right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this leg up. I'm going to use on the psoas. I'm going to have you take a deep breath in, out. We'll do this 3 times. And on the third one, I'll goad that psoas just a little bit. Okay? And we'll go back and then retest. Out here. And that's even. Perfect. Now we're going to do prone leg length analysis. So I'll have you turn over for me. I'll pull the feet out about 15 inches. Have you resist for me. 3, 2, 1. All right. And we've got medial malleolus is high, so we've got a short right leg. Do fiber analysis. I'm going to find the PSIS, and I'm going to move on an arcing motion along the ilium on both sides. So we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that would correlate to the lumbar spine. So if we were tender on either side at say 0.3, that would correlate to the third lumbar vertebrae, and then I could confirm that using Levitt Brothers and the cervical spine. Next we're going to do some indicators, so I'm going to feel for tenderness in the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, and the TS, and I'm going to make a mental note of that. We're going to do SOTO, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the patient's leg, and I'm going to bring it out until I see a bunching in the glute, and then I'll rotate the foot out, and I'll hold that for 15 seconds. Pull it back. Wait for a couple minutes, and then I'll re-perform SOTO. So bring it out until the glute bunches, and then rotate, pull for 15 seconds, go back, and ask the patient if any of that got worse, better, or stayed the same. If it got better, it's piriformis. Keep performing SOTO. If it got worse, that is a sequestered disc, and if it stayed the same, then that would be a disc herniation or subluxation. Blocking. I have my blocks here. We're going to block passively, so I'll ask the patient if he has any knee troubles. Okay, nope, so no knee troubles. So I'm going to come in and passively lift, and I'm going to place the block underneath the radial trochanter, obliquely inferior 45 degrees. On the other side, any knee pain over here? Nope. Okay. And we go under the ASIS, obliquely inferior at 45 degrees as well. Now we're going to do block augmentation. So I'm going to wait about a minute and ask the patient if it's gotten any better. And if it is not, then I'm going to move the block starting with the short leg in 10-degree increments, starting and ask the patient if it got any better. If it did not on that side, I would go to the other side, and I would turn the block in 10-degree increments, asking the patient if it's gotten better until we find a nice balance. For the posterior iliofemoral ligament, so I'm going to internally rotate Ben's knees, his feet, and feel which one is restricted. The right side restricted, so I'm going to go to the iliofemoral ligament, and I'm going to flick towards the opposite obturator. Vertebral derotation, so I'm going to look at the cervical spine, find a tender spinous or transverse process, and using Levitt Brothers, I'll correlate that to the lumbar spinous, and then I will go ahead and lift the patient's leg, and I will press lateral to medial while flexing the knee and having the patient hold its breath for 5 seconds, and I will do that 3 times for 5 seconds. Inferiority lift, so I'm going to palpate the spinous process and the cervical spine, feel for some tenderness, use the Levitt Brothers, go down to this transverse process, and then what I'll do is I'm going to press the lift the patient's leg, flex the leg, and I will press I to S for 5 seconds as the patient breathes in. I do that for 5 seconds each time. I do it 3 times. Acetabular goading. So I'm going to flex the patient's knee, and then I'll do internal rotation on acetabulum. I'm looking for nodules, and then I'll go to external rotation, looking for nodules, breaking those up. And then as orthopedic orthopedic testing, and it's simply, we're just going to remove the block on the short leg. Hold the block and ask the patient if that got better. If it did get better, if it felt better, I would leave it out. If it did not, I would put the block back in. Now we'll do sciatic testing, or sciatic traction, I should say. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the patient's leg, have him hold on to the top of the table, and I'm going to traction that leg for 5 to 10 seconds. Next we'll do assisted sciatic traction. So I'll have Carl come over, and as I press I to S on the involved spinous, Carl is going to go ahead and traction that leg for me. Base, I'm going to go palpate L5, and I'm going to have the patient cough. And since my thumb went up, that will be a sacral base positive, and if it had been towards the head, that would have been a negative, and a diagonal line, that would be a neutral. So sacral base, what I'm going to do is I'm going to palpate the apex of the sacrum, and I'm going to press down while Ben breathes in. Okay, next we're going to have Ben sit up for me. And we're going to do the sitting disc. So I'm going to have you flex your head forward, and I'm going to press P to A on the disc itself while Ben flexes forward and breathes in at the hips. Have you come up, keeping your head flexed. We'll just do this several times. Perfect. Now we can do side posture, and side posture is, as we have indicators, the sciatic leg must be down. So I'm going to have you lay down on your left side for me, which is the sciatic side. No, I'm sorry, sciatic side is the right side. There we go. So, and then in order to do this, the wedge must be open on the top side, and the spinous must be turned to the downside, and then I could address side posture. And that's the end of Cat 3.